I think we all want to live in a world with a little more light. From our everyday life to our communities, our work, our families, and the world at large. I'm Brenda, Florida, life coach and lifestyle advisor, and this is a new series I'm beginning. It is Live Lavishly Light, and this is episode 1. So these are going to come to those of you who are on my email list every Monday. And it's just going to be a little thought, a brief concept or idea to sort of focus on for the week to hopefully, create a better week because I think we all have that power to create how we think and feel. And sometimes it's easy to lose track of that when things get busy, and Mondays can be a hard day to transition, back into the workplace for those of you who work on a Monday through Friday kind of basis, from the weekend and things like that. But I want to do this to support you in your journey and selfishly for myself as well, because of course all of this helps keep me centered as well. So for this first episode, I want to talk about attention. So the sort of power of attention, because where we put our attention, so our energy goes. Right? And you know this to be true. And it can be a positive or a negative thing, right? If we're focusing our attention on something really lovely or someone we love or a beautiful scene, or maybe we're in nature and it's beautiful, we're spending, using all of our attention there. And so our energy is elevated. But we also know the reverse is true. If we focus our attention on our boss who we're angry at, or a coworker that we're angry at, or that is just pushing our buttons or getting under our skin, or a family member and, a significant other or spouse or whatever, then that takes our attention in a way that can be really distracting. So I'll tell you a funny little story about that. A couple of years ago, I was working in the Reading area, and we were in the office that I worked in. We had been given the sort of privilege, really, of buying tickets for the local baseball team. They're a seed team. That's not what they call it. Whatever. For the Philadelphia Phillies. And so they're called the Reading Fightin' Phils. And I had a lot of fun when I lived in that area, going to all their baseball games and getting really involved, and it was a lot of fun. And so we did this company event where we had these great seats in the dugout, and you're really close to the field and all of this. And the management of the team had really done me a favor by letting my office group have a whole bunch of seats. We had, 10 or 12 or so of these really premier seats. Well, at the last minute, I couldn't attend the game because my son and daughter-in-law, who live in San Francisco, were coming to visit, and that was the night they were able to have dinner with me. So I wasn't able to go to the game. I send all these people I work with there. And so I'm with my son and daughter-in-law, and we're just having a delightful time, and we're having a great meal. And after dinner and before dessert, well, along through dinner, I kept getting text messages, sometimes with photos, that seemed like my people at this game were sort of running amok. Well, then I get a text message where one of the guys is being handcuffed, and a guy with an events t-shirt from the Fightin' Phils is, like walking him out of this seating area. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are totally embarrassing me. They're getting thrown out of the baseball park. I'm never going to be able to show my face there again. And all of a sudden, I went from having a lovely time with my kids to being totally stressed out about what was going on at this game. Right there, I wasn't there. There was nothing I could do about it, but my attention went there. And it went off of my visit with my kids. Now, in the end, it all ended up being a grand prank on me. And so we all had a good laugh about it at the end. But it's just a great example on how once we give something our attention, it can totally take over something else, even if it's not real, right? So in that case, I actually had nothing to be stressed out about because the whole thing was a joke. And yet, I got totally distracted from my kids. I did not enjoy my dessert. And I've made my people that I worked with feel very guilty about that. So don't worry about that. But it just was a great example of the power our attention has to distract us and get it going off in the wrong direction. Well, the reverse is true. If we think of things that are joyful, if we think of things that are creative and put our attention there, then we can be distracted from the quote unquote negative things happening in our world, the difficult things in our world, and really enjoy a state of gratitude or a state of joy, even when our external circumstances are not necessarily reflecting that. So you have all kinds of personal power here to really own your experience every day. So thank you for joining me in this first episode of Live Lavishly Light. And I will look forward to seeing you every Monday as we explore another little tip or trick to help us stay focused in a positive way in our lives. Thanks, everybody. I'm Brenda, Florida, and let's live lavishly together.